show. Today we're going to be talking with my mommy's post about parenting during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So,
Parents.
yeah, he's talking about Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just got a new Blue's Clues toy. So, give me your thoughts on parenting during the pandemic. What are your thoughts on that as a parent yourself?
I think right now we have evolved from like the first stages of the pandemic. So I think at the beginning stages it was more an unknown and unstable, and we just didn't know how to adjust because it just happened so quick. You know, it was here, you know, and then everything shut down, and we were adapting to this new normal of being home, stuck with one another. Outside of our routine, outside of our kids' routine, outside of, you know, all of that. So I think, and now we are what are we, like 6 months in the pandemic? And so I think people have started to just create these new normals, I guess. And I know things are slowly going back to normal. You know, people are going back to school slowly and going back to work slowly. And so people are now establishing brand new routines that kind of go around these, you know, new ways that we kind of have to navigate going back to school and navigating going back to work, or navigating like going out to a restaurant or whatever it is. So there's all these new normals that we are just navigating towards with. So I think the challenge at the beginning with Noah, you know, Noah is 18 months now. So I think he was about 16 months when it happened, about 15 months. Maybe. Okay. And we had to adjust his routine, you know, so like we were able to go out, we went to the park, we, you know, spent time with my niece and my sister, and it was like a routine that we had. And so once everything kind of shut down, we were indoors, and we had to kind of utilize whatever tools we had to entertain him indoors. And I think that was challenging because you have to now be creative, you know. You have to think of ways to entertain and to develop and to just keep with the milestones of everything else that's going on, you know, perhaps the coronavirus fear, you know, the financial struggles, the you know, the what ifs, and all these terrors that kind of go in between these, you know, just normal thoughts that everybody kind of go through.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about sort of the routines, and because parents are going to have to, you know, adapt new routines. Now what's happening is that we've gotten through, we know what the coronavirus is all about. Mm-hmm. We've experienced being quarantined and locked down. Mm-hmm. Now we're going back to some hybrid in terms of kids going to school for 2 days and being at home for 3 days. So, you know, different schools are doing different things. But here in our region, that's sort of what's happening, right? Yeah. So what are your thoughts? What advice do you have for parents who are going to be sending their kids to school for 2 days out of the week and then having to homeschool them for the balance of the week?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, these schools right now are, I think most schools are doing the hybrid model. Some of them are not going back at all. They're just doing the whole remote learning. So I think what parents need to focus on is, most importantly, is creating a space to where children can, like a learning zone, you know, these zones within the house. And so that the children understand that once they're in this zone, it is learning time, and kind of differentiate, you know, separate it from like the room, separate it from, you know, a space where it's busy in the house, just separate it to where they understand that they're going to wake up in the morning, have their routine set in place, just as if they were going to get up and go to school physically. So, you know, just wake up in the morning with the kids, you know, start the day, make sure that they're up, and create the zone in your home. So, there's lots of inexpensive ways to do it. On Amazon, there's ways that you can, buy these like remote desks that they can sit on, or, you have cubbies, or you can have, little areas that you can section off in your house that you can create in your own little home. So I think most importantly is creating that zone, because if you don't, then, it kind of everything goes together.
So I know you said not in the bedroom, right? Not in the child's room, but outside the child's room. So what's your philosophy on that? Why outside the child's room?
Well, the reason why not in the bedroom is because typically the children's bedroom is a safe space. So it's a space where they relax, they unwind, they are creative, they are, just if they had a long day, it's their space to do whatever they need to do, and it's their safe space. So once they have, if you insert work in their room, in that space, then that energy of, work and stress and homework and all that stuff doesn't leave their safe space. So that kind of lingers within their space. And when they're falling asleep, they can see their zone, and they're constantly, they can probably get triggered, or their anxiety can come up. They're thinking about like their homework that's due or their paper that's due. So they don't have the opportunity to just decompress. And so typically bedrooms for children, it gives them that opportunity to decompress.
So some parents can't do that. Some parents may not have the choice. They may have to do it in the bedroom because there's not enough space in the house to do it. So thoughts on that? Thoughts on how they can delineate the space?
If that's, I know some people live in spaces in which they cannot create like, a school zone or a study zone and within their home. I think that perhaps, if they can do like, I don't know, like a partition or something within their home or within the room, or, just kind of like zone it off to where they can't just see it, where they can just step away from it once their work is done and just call it a day.
Yeah. No, I think you're 100% right. I think the energy of learning should be separate. It should not be in the bedroom, to the extent you can do that, right?
Yeah.
If it has to be in the bedroom, you have to find a way, I think, to separate it, to delineate the space so the kid is not focused on that.
Yeah.
Now, what about, we're going to be having a teenager coming home from school now. So thoughts on routines around, okay, 2 days at home, we got that, but now coming home from school 2 days a week. Thoughts on a routine around that?
The letter P. I think that we should now, so like I said, we're creating a new normal. So now that we are, once Aiden leaves to go to school, then he's coming back and he is, perhaps maybe bringing in contamination or something from the school, for example. And so I think we should just start with the routine that we were initially starting with, where we would just, sanitize ourselves, clean ourselves, and then before there's any contact with anybody else in the home. And that's just the best practice that we can do, just to avoid anything lingering coming home with them. So it's kind of inconvenient because, Aiden's in that zone, and so and many kids are in that zone in which they possibly might catch it, they might not. So it's like,
yeah. And we trust to an extent that the school's doing the right thing and sanitizing, but kids will be kids.
yeah.
And we can't depend on kids to do the right thing all the time, right?
Yeah.
They're going to. You had a story you shared with me earlier about a kid and the mask. Share that story.
Yeah, this mother, I guess she sent her son, who was in elementary, to school with his mask on, came home with a different mask on. And they're children, and you really can't help it. I mean, kids go, they go with a hoodie and they come back with it, missing, you know? So it's just like, there's things that kids do that we can't control. Like, there's no way for us to control their behavior at that point, especially if they're at that age. So.
Right. So good point. So yeah. So when Aiden is going to go to school, he comes home. He's got to take those school clothes off. I think we need to assume that he has the coronavirus on him, right? Take those school clothes off, wash his hands, wash skin that's exposed, wash his arms, get dressed, and then join the family for dinner or whatever other activities are going on in the house. So, it's important to establish those rules for anyone who is leaving the home and re-entering the home. So they want to hear from Noah. Where's Noah?
He's playing. And so these are the ways that we keep him entertained. I mean, obviously right now it's past his bedtime, but we have to be creative with the learning. We have to be creative with the way he interacts with other kids. We have to be creative with the way he is, going outside and so forth. So
talk about that. Talk about kids. Let's say the mom is able to stay home with the kid. Mm-hmm. What kind of routine should you have? Should it be 8 hours of just intense learning, or do we create breaks in between?
There's two different parents. So there's the stay-at-home parent who is solely just stay at home, and they're going to dedicate their self to the home, the children, and so forth. And then there's a working parent now that's going to be working remotely, right? Because we're going to have that situation is still where parents are working remotely. And in situations in which just the stay-at-home parent and that's just dedicated to the house and to the family, I think that parents should just create a schedule. So they, still create their routines as if they were, just like how they were pre-COVID, pre-pandemic. And so, but be creative within the house. I think it shouldn't be a full 8 hours worth of just, learning whatever it is or playing with the child. I think it should be, there's breaks, there's lunchtime, there's breakfast, there's dinner, there's interacting. And I think there is a schedule that almost has to alter within the child as they grow as well. So depending on how old the child is and what their needs are and how engaged you need to be with them as well. So I think always keep a routine. There's nap time, there's snack time, there's learning time, there's play time. I mean, there's just so much that you can do throughout the day, and you don't even have to leave the house because as long as you structure yourself. I know it could be straining. There's a lot that goes on as well with the parents that during these times that could be stressful. Parents are thinking about their finances. They're thinking about whether or not they can feed their kids. They're thinking about all sorts of things that is changing. It's almost like the rug was, pulled out from underneath them, and there's all these shifts that they have to go and balance themselves as a parent and still stay stable for the family and as well juggle all these other responsibilities that they're dealing with. So I think it's very important to just parent in the now, and do not try your best not to stress in front of the children or relay that energy to them, because children are very sensitive, very smart. They can pick up on our emotions, on our energy, and so they're anxious, they're anxiety driven, and so we have the emotions that we feel, we will transfer those to them. So
bring your best parent to homeschool every day, right?
Yeah. It is hard, and especially the working parents. I mean, I don't think people don't talk about the working parent from home. In some cases they have to share, their computers with their kids to learn, right? And their kids are remote learning. And so there's a lot of strains that are happening. A lot of women actually are forced to quit their job because their kids have to stay at home. So that's a whole different.
I did a post on that recently about this phenomenon of women having to make a choice between work and life, and many of them are choosing to stay home.
Yeah.
And so it's almost, a reversal of all the gains that women have made
Yeah.
over the years. So many corporate women are deciding, that my child is more important than this job. And it's unfortunate they're having to make those choices. But we're seeing that happen a lot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm wearing, right? I've got this tethered earbud, right? Do you think that kids should go with this, or should it be the cordless one? And the reason I ask is because you know how children are, right? It gets attached to the computer, and what do? They stand up and they drag the computer with them.
Well, I did a whole list of like back to school list on my blog.
Okay, let's hear about your list then.
And I recommended the ones that go over the head.
Okay, yeah.
So, and they're pretty inexpensive too, but I recommended those only because I think those are just more stable for the children's ears.
But wireless or with the cord?
I'm not sure.
I think wireless because of what I just said. So if it's plugged in and the kid, they're forgetful, right?
Yeah.
And they got it on their head, it's pretty secure on their head, and they get up and they walk away, there goes the computer, $1,200 computer or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
This things you got to think about, because kids are forgetful, irresponsible, but we love them because they're our children, right? So what else is on your list? Your back to school list for parents?
I mean, so my list, I put together like the normal back to school, and then I put the COVID remote learning back to school. So I kind of put both. I put, the regular pencils, crayons, pens, staples, all that stuff. But the ones that changed to the ones that are on campus learning is just like hand sanitizers and masks, just to kind of keep the kids safe. And then the stay at home is, I had, headphones and just stationary stuff that's going to help your children to be successful. So whatever, little like stationary stuff, I have to pull it up. Just a lot of tools that's going to help our children be successful at home.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that mom and dad have got to take care of themselves, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to create a negative environment for the child, and even a negative learning environment for the child. So you've got to make sure you take care of your health, your mental health, and there's got to be recess just like in school, right? And so that's a great time for the child and the parent to get some exercise. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, winter's coming too, so you got to think about that in certain places.
True.
So it's hard to do that, but definitely take advantage of, if you are a stay-at-home parent and you can do that, definitely take advantage of that break, have lunch with them, chat with them, kind of check in on them. Definitely check in on your children. It is so important to have that one-on-one conversation with your kids to see where they are mentally. I know if we are stressed about it and we are not the ones that are adapting to this new way of learning, I can only imagine what the kids are dealing with. So once the kids also want to have that, that social life with their friends. They want to go to school. They want to see their friends. They want to go to, the sporting events. They want to be part of sports. They want to do all that stuff that is pertaining to the school culture. And so when that's taken away from them, or it is perhaps, hybrid or whatever it is, it puts a strain on kids. These kids, although they're at home, they're safe, they're healthy, thank God. But also you got to think about, their mental health, their social, life is taken away from them as well.
I like what Kathy said. Breaks for music are great at any age. I think that's a great idea. Dancing is a good way to exercise and take a break from learning, right?
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Blow off some steam. I think also if your child's old enough, it's a good idea to teach them how to meditate. And the parent should meditate as well,
Hmm.
and to learn how to control stress.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's different forms of meditating that parents and children can both adapt to. So, there's prayers, there's just anything that maybe perhaps sitting in a room and just listening to like calming music or whatever it is just part of meditating. So whatever form that they can take on and if they're able to do it, it almost gives your brain a break. You know.
I think also, positive affirmation is good as well. I think the parent has to tell themselves that they're doing a good job. That it's they're not skilled at teaching, and suddenly they're thrust into a position where they have to teach their own child, and so they have to give themselves positive affirmation that they're okay, and it's okay not to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, right? We just have to do our best.
Yeah.
Someone said yoga for toddlers is great. Love that. Cooking lesson.
Yeah, toddlers. I think children at any age, they love that stuff. They love the cooking. They love the music. They love the yoga. Whatever. I think they just imitate whatever their parents do. Honestly, they just want to be a part of that activity. Just like right now, like how Noah wants to be a part of, this that I'm doing, and so it's just we just want to mimic what we do, and I think it's great. And I think we just have to be conscious of that as well. So, conscious of our attitude, the way we interact with them, the way we are dealing with the day.
What is he destroying? He was so quiet until you turned on the camera. And now he's performing.
He wants to be part of it. And
yeah.
He is. He's very social in that way. But I think most importantly, we have to constantly remind our children that we are healthy. As long as we are healthy, we're safe, and everything's going to be okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to keep a positive attitude. Where is he? Is he nearby?
Huh?
Is he nearby?
Yeah.
Let's get him on camera.
Oh, there he is.
Hi. Huh? Be nice. All right, we've got a comment here from Game of Moms. Love that. All right, can you read that?
Okay, so Jessica from Game of Moms, for our free time virtual play dates with simple things like Play-Doh or coloring have been very helpful for us.
Okay, so that's a good idea.
That is definitely a good idea. Just toddlers they just love anything that's hands-on. The Play-Doh, I'm kind of scared to introduce Play-Doh to Noah right now because I think he will be he will be destructive with it. I don't think he'll I guess it's all about learning. No, but
yeah,
definitely
but virtual play dates is a good idea, right? Good recommendation.
Yes, virtual play dates. We actually, they're not technically play dates, but we FaceTime my nieces, and we have those interactions.
What other comments or questions do you guys have? We're talking with My Mommy's Post about parenting during this pandemic. So if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. Type them in the comments section. And we've got little Noah in the background. He's tearing something up. I'm not sure what it is.
His walker. But there is a...
Did you pull your list up?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let's talk about your list, because that's important.
Yeah. So the at-home learning, that's different than the traditional, back-to-school list. So I recommended headphones, which we were talking about, those headphones,
Right.
a dictionary, and there's several types of dictionaries. There's children's dictionary, and then there's one for high school, and so forth. An iPad, if you guys can afford it, definitely buy it so that it can help with the remote learning. A printer, definitely, calculator, microscope, alarm clock, and that's something that will help with routine, the alarm clock. A storage desk, calendar. So there's several calendars. There's like the elementary calendars that, you know, that they have in their, the teachers have in their classroom that's interactive, and then, you know, they go as, you know, the kids age. Like a desktop, stationary, you know, organizer, paint and brush sets, storage cubbies, paper clips, staplers, laminator, wall map, and a globe. So these are things that you typically will find in a classroom, but since we are, you know, switching gears into remote learning, then we want to kind of create that environment. So these are the things that you will find in a classroom and you would want to have in your room, in the house, so that you can use, you know, as, you know, they have these tools and resources to be successful.
So I want to hear from the mothers out there. Is it still important to teach kids how to tell time on a dial watch? Or is it LED readout forever?
I think the clock method is very important to learn to learn numbers and to learn the hours, the minutes, and the seconds in that format. But I don't know if people still teach it. I don't know.
What do you guys think? Kathy, what do you think? Are you teaching your son how to tell time with a dial clock? Yes. Game of Mom says yes. Okay. That's still important. You know, I predict at some point two things will become obsolete. You know, clocks with hands and learning how to write the alphabet.
Why?
Because we are not going to be writing anything 30 years from now. Everything will be typed. Everything will be virtual. So there won't be a need to learn how to construct. There won't be a need to learn how to construct the letters. It's my prediction. I hope I'm around to see it.
I don't know.
What is this? Pepe Pig has a great clock with shapes. Yeah.
All right. Actually, I heard, I don't know if this is true, but Peppa the Pig is banned in the UK because she promotes aggressive behavior.
Okay.
True, but that's what I heard.
I think people are banning Paw Patrol as well, so I'm not sure why. Someone said, I think script has become obsolete. You're absolutely right. I write half script, half non-script. So it's kind of weird. Some letters are script, some are non-script. So it's a mess, my writing. It's awful. Kathy, what do you say no way to?
Actually, they're banned in China, not in the UK.
Oh, China. Okay. All right.
She did teach Dylan to jump in puddles. So I guess it was in China. That was correct. Not in the UK.
Got it. So China. I don't think we care what China's doing, right?
It's just interesting. It's a children's show. You know, no one doesn't watch it, so I don't know exactly what. Put that pig on the barbecue.
Put the pig on the barbecue. Oh my goodness. I don't know about that.
Well, Noah's obsession now is with Paw Patrol and Blue's Clues. So that's where we're at right now.
Got it. All right, any questions or comments from the audience? We've got my mommy's post on. Parenting savant.
I want to know what people
Is
are
that
doing.
is that your title, parenting savant?
You want to give me that title?
What's your question? What are people or what?
I just want to know what parents are doing now, so to adjust to back to school. Like, what is something that they have been doing that they didn't think that they would ever have to do, sending their kids off to school?
What is that, Kathy? Yumi Zumi.
I don't know. It's a matter of time that Noah will.
Can you look that up? Team Yumi Zumi?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Getting some great tips from Kathy.
It's on Nick Jr. So Game of Mom says we started using a curriculum called Playing Preschool from Busy Toddler, and it's great so far. That's good. Yeah, that's good. See, it's just I think just parents have to be creative. Nick Jr. teaches math and shapes. See, some parents are against screen time, and I think during this time, if this is the way that kids can learn and absorb
Against what?
screen time, which is like them being on TV or on their tablet or whatever. And
well, Noah has his own tablet and knows how to turn it on, knows how to adjust the volume, knows how to manipulate it, knows how to flip to the screens he wants.
Yeah, he's very good.
He knows how to work the thing better than I can.
Yeah, see, I guess like that's what I'm saying is that parents are against it, but at this point, if this is their tool to help their kids learn, so if they're using it to help their children learn as a teacher, because parents are perhaps not equipped to teach, and they're using these methods to teach their kids, I think that's a great idea. It's a tool that they can use and utilize.
Someone said Noah's a tech expert. He sure is. I remember he was I don't know, was he 12 months? A year? Just a year? And he used to use both hands, and he would do his fingers like this on the tablet. And now he does one finger. He's really good at it.
Now he's perfected it, but yeah, he was just like, oh, now he would do this with the screen. And like I'd lock the screen so he would just kind of go like that to move the screen around. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's going on. I think we just kind of, as parents, have to just readjust, refocus. Things are going to happen. There's lots of things that, even taking the pandemic out of the equations, there's a lot of things that were going to happen that is out of our control. People can lose their jobs. People can, get terminal illnesses or whatever it is outside of the pandemic. So I think it's just amplified because we have to adjust. Everybody has to adjust the way that they live because of the pandemic that's happening right now. But I think we just have to stay focused, stay positive. Parents in the now, be in the now. If you are constantly stressing, you're constantly anxious, if you're constantly paranoid, kids are going to pick up on that energy, and that's going to create that, anxiety space in your home. So just take it, day by day, check in with your kids, make sure they're okay, play with them, laugh with them, dance with them, sing with them.
Do screen time with them, right? Because you can't just sit them in front of the TV. You have to know what they're watching.
Yes.
Because Noah's learning a whole lot on his iPad. And so we have to stay in step with what he's learning because he's saying things that he's learning on his iPad. And sometimes we're caught off guard by it. Like, where do you get that from?
Right. So it's just stay focused with and then establish routines, establish new routines. And so just like how we had routines pre-COVID, we're going to have to start creating, routines within this new normal, I guess, that everybody's calling it. So there's nothing that I think sometimes, honestly, the pandemic has been a blessing because we were able to spend more time with each other, and in a like your type of job, we barely see you, especially during the holidays. We barely see you, and so we were able to spend some time with you and just have that together was, I think, was very special.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of parents.
You're going to make me cry.
And I think a lot of parents also.
So if you guys haven't figured it out, we are married, and Noah is our son. Yeah. So let's get Noah back on the screen one last time.
Hey, come here. Come say hi to Dada. Come here. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here.
Noah is very independent and hard-headed. He does not do anything on demand.
Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Go say hi to Dada. Come here.
Noah.
He's dancing.
Okay.
You know how he gets when his passes by.
I do. Yep. Okay. All right. And we'll see you guys then. Everyone take care, all right?
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.